time of a great cremation is one of the most amazing experiences that can befall a traveler. An elaborate cremation is a rare event, for only the families of Rajas and rich men can afford the expense. And as the number of Rajas and rich men is limited, years often pass between important cremations. Lesser people who die in the intervals and desire cremation during a large ceremony are temporarily buried, and often many bodies accumulate in the temple grounds before such an event takes place. The Balinese, whose religion is founded on the Hindu faith, believe the souls of the dead cannot escape until all that is mortal is consumed by fire. Thus there is much rejoicing when a great man dies, for the bones of the others can then be disinterred and cremated with proper ceremony, and the souls, which are somewhere in the neighborhood, released. In the procession, balanced on the heads of women by upraised arms, offerings are carried to the field of cremation, offerings which will be burnt to assure the departing souls of necessities in future lives. Coffins used in cremation are built to resemble beasts, symbolic of sacred cattle, the large one for the corpse, the small one for the bones of the disinterred. In the upstretched hands of 100 men, the winding sheet is carried through the gateway of the temple of the dead. The end of the sheet is attached to the reed-encased body. The body, spiced and anointed with sweet oil, for 2 months has lain in state. Now it is carried by a crowd of half-naked men and placed within the catafalque. Custom decrees there must be a mythical battle between the body and the soul, so friends of the deceased stage the sham fight. Hundreds call out to burn the body and free the soul. Others cry not to burn him, for he is their friend and must not be carried away. The fight takes on an appearance of earnestness as they climb on the shoulders of the bearers and tussle with the corpse, until, as custom dictates, the soul triumphs and the body is won for the flames. The road is jammed with a seething mass of humanity. More than 100 coolies move along as though part of a great animal. On their backs they carry the giant bamboo raft upon which is built the pylon. In the pylon, as in a stately catafalque, the body is carried on its last earthly journey. There is a river to cross, and again we see the coffins. In the grand revelry, 3 have found places on their backs and ride on the synthetic beast. The laboring coolies, tired and sweating under their load, make the most of the refreshing crossing of the river. Next comes the great pylon with its burden to be edged slowly down the steep slope and navigated across the river. The pylon coolies also enjoy a refreshing fall and join in a friendly splashing of water. When the river has finally been crossed, the procession plunges once more into the dust and heat to travel another 1,000 yards and enter upon the field of cremation. The beasts are whirled in circles round and round the field, for the evil spirits must be confused and driven from the site. The corpse also goes through the same ritual of confusion. There is a sudden end to the excitement, while the corpse is prepared for the flames. After the fire has consumed the body, the ashes are collected and thrown into the sea, and to the Balinese, the soul is released. Within the enclosure of the snow-white coral temple, we look upon a high priest at prayer. Although the Hindu faith is the religion of the Balinese, they have during many centuries adapted it to their own needs, and their creed is today no longer orthodox Hinduism. We watch the movements of the hands as the Brahmin performs the mudras, a ceremony of his faith. This glimpse of a ritual of the Hindu religion is unusual, and only in Bali would an outsider be privileged to witness it. Beneath the village banyan tree, the gamelan is playing, music with a softness and mellowness that even a Western ear finds pleasing. There are no written notes. Each orchestra or gamelan, consisting of boys and men, rehearse or rearrange melodies that have been handed down by ear from generation to generation. The instruments are all made by hand. Sometimes years are required to assemble a gamelan. The gongs and bronzes are also cast by hand, and with great care tuned to the exact tone. The gamelan is playing for the dancers of the village, the lagong dancers, young girls trained since early childhood to execute the movements and steps which interpret stories of history or mythology. They are dressed in costumes of gold and painted silk, and to a stranger seem more like characters from a storybook. Their faces are mask-like as they dance with movements and arms and the grace of body that is typical of all Balinese. Modern dances are interpreted by slightly older girls and young men also. The janga is one of the most popular of these dances, with a rhythm of motion and a gaiety that suggests the happiness of the Balinese of today. Their costumes are more ornamental and colorful. While they dance, they sing and smile at each other, and sometimes at the audience as well. This dance may be the prelude to a changing land, but today the Balinese remain the most contented of people who live and are supremely happy in this last paradise.